Jaron Ennis, Shakur Stevenson. Careers in jeopardy because Turkey Al-Sheikh may run him into the ground. That is the legitimate worry of legitimate boxing experts. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be in the 147 pound and the 135 pound division. And we're going to talk about two of the most talented and two of the best fighters in boxing. Jaron Boots Ennis of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Shakur Stevenson of Newark, New Jersey. Please understand why I said that I'm putting emphasis on from Philadelphia and from Newark, New Jersey. Before I get into the details and why experts are saying that their careers could be very much in jeopardy because of a move that is being made potentially for February, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you. And thank you to everybody that supports and sponsors this video. In the super thanks, which is a little dollar sign right there. Throw $1 at your boy, quarter at your boy. Thank you so much for sponsoring and showing people that other people care about the channel. Now let's get into this. Gervonta Davis is a big star in the United States. Primarily because he's known by the people in the United States and he fights in front of people in the United States. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was a big star in the United States primarily because he fought in the United States and he fought people in front of people that watched fights in the United States. Also, he was an incredibly talented fighter. We also have now two incredibly talented fighters. Shakur Stevenson and Jaron Ennis, whose very next fights for the next couple years could be in Saudi Arabia, aired in the United States on DAZN, and they very well could get paid good money for it. Only problem is that will not grow their brand. It will not grow their reputation with American boxing fans, and it will not increase, and in fact, it will decrease their exposure with American fight fans in exchange for the monies that they get paid to take their talents to the Middle East. It is a very unique situation in boxing history where boxers are actually being asked and recruited to fight. And these are main stars. I'm not talking about guys like Winky Wright, who were really great American fighters who had to go fight in Italy and had to go fight other places because they couldn't get on American cards, right? And then eventually he worked himself up and then he got on the big cards and he became a star, right? That's the path of Winky Wright. There's always been American fighters that have had to fight overseas, but it really has never been the top American stars. And they never really did it. Why? Because they want the exposure with American fight fans and to sell tickets to American fight fans and to be visible on American television. Very simple thing. But boxing now with Turkey Al-Sheikh, where Turkey Al-Sheikh has the rehab season, they started telling people that they were going to come to the United States and put on fights in the United States. They paid a lot of money for a fight with Terrence Crawford, right? They had Eminem there, right? They had big fights with American fighters over in the rehab season. So you got American fighters looking there like, okay, that's a really good way to make money. And it is. Here's the problem, though. Turkey Al-Sheikh may not come back to America. He may not. Now, Bob Arum said that he wasn't coming back to America. And Bob Arum said he wasn't coming back to America because of the Terrence Crawford card, right? Now, Turkey Al-Sheikh says what? And Bob Arum says what to that? Turkey Al-Sheikh and Eddie Hearn say what in response to Bob Arum? Well, Bob Arum says they're not going to put on any more events in the United States. So Eddie Hearn says, how would he know? He's not talking to Turkey Al-Sheikh, and the only person that would decide that is Turkey Al-Sheikh. So if you haven't heard that from Turkey Al-Sheikh, how would you know? Now, when I hear that, all I hear is, he's telling me that something I already know. That Bob Arum is not Turkey Al-Sheikh, and that Bob Arum is not Eddie Hearn, and that Bob Arum is not a party to their contracts. I know that's the truth, but that doesn't mean that Bob Arum doesn't know. You know why? Because Bob Arum is very close in business partners with Frank Warren. Frank Warren didn't jump out there and say it wasn't true. Eddie Hearn said it wasn't true. But guess what? Frank Warren isn't the one trying to come over to the United States and puts cards on in the United States to compete with Bob Arum. The person that is trying to do that is Eddie Hearn. So it very well could have come from Frank Warren. Also, when Turkey Al-Sheikh responded and said, who is this saying that I'm not putting on cards in the United States in America anymore? You can believe that when it comes from me. All I hear is Turkey Al-Sheikh saying, this guy doesn't know what my decision is. But I didn't hear Turkey Al-Sheikh or Eddie Hearn say that what Bob Arum said is not true. Listen again. This is why I'm saying that Jaron, Ennis, and Shakur, Stevenson, man, you better listen to what these people are saying and what they're not saying. Bob Arum is somebody that is too old to be running around lying for no good reason. He's telling people what he heard. You know full well Bob Arum be knowing what's going on in the boxing world. He's Bob Arum. But when Eddie responded, Eddie didn't say what Bob Arum said was not true. All Eddie said was, how would he know? He just pulled into question, how would you know? Well, if I answer the question, how would he know? And I say, well, I don't know how he'd know. Okay, right, thank you. But that doesn't mean what he said isn't true. So I'm asking you flat out, is it true? Is it true what Bob said? Eddie, is it true? But Eddie don't answer the question. Eddie just says, well, how would he know? Bro, I didn't ask you whether or not he would know. I'm asking you whether it's true. But he didn't answer the question. So I didn't walk away knowing that it wasn't true. All I walked away with listening to Eddie was maybe I should doubt it. Same thing when Turkey Al-Sheikh said, who is this that is saying this? And if you don't hear it from me, don't believe it. But that's not the same thing as saying it's not true. If it wasn't true, he could have said, that's not true. We will be back in the United States next year for sure. I'm looking into it, doing a card right now. But did he say it? No, he didn't. Only thing he did was pour water on the idea that was presented by Bob Arum. So how do I connect that to Shakur Stevenson and Jaron Ennis being in a little bit of trouble? Because Turkey Al-Sheikh is the main money behind Matchroom right now. The big Matchroom cards and the big money coming from Matchroom is going to come from fights that are listed on the Rehab season card. And if you've not noticed, Matchroom literally has had their entire stable gutted by Frank Warren and Rehab season. So, nah, bro, if I was those guys, I'm telling you, I would be slow and steady in the United States, making fights in the United States. And I would be fighting on American TV, growing my name, growing my reputation on American TV where people can see me. And then get an honest fight with a big name dude, right? Or beat so many dudes that you become the big name dude. Now, I don't mind them say, hey, 2-3 fights. Hey, man, I got to get my money. I got to get fights. I understand that. But, man, word to the wise. Turkey Al-Sheikh did not say that he was putting on fights in the United States. And neither did Eddie when they responded to Bob Arum. Also, the Prince that Turkey Al-Sheikh works for, it's from them where Bob Arum gets the information that they're not going to be spending money in the United States. Okay, because because the country of Saudi Arabia said we're pulling in this funding from these things that we're doing around the world, and we're going to only do stuff with people that are focused on giving value back to Saudi Arabia, which was inevitably going to be the case. So unless you think Saudi Arabia is the future home for all of boxing, I would suggest that you don't, that you make sure all your ducks is in a row. And if that thing shuts down, you're willing to get back to a scenario, or you got to trip back to a scenario where fights are profitable. And when you have profitable fights making money, that the business is going to continue for the rest of your career, right? Flash in the pans are dangerous things, especially dudes that are like spending a bunch of money while they're losing it. It's only a matter of time until they want some profit up out of that. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.